With the generous financial support of the Manitoba Arts Council, the Crescent Fort Rouge United Church 55+ Seniors Program, and Grant Simpson Productions, the Crescent Arts Centre is proud to present Stories to Songs, the program that pairs up Manitoba songwriters with Manitoba seniors to create an original song that celebrates the life and legacy of a Manitoba senior. Hello and welcome to another edition of Stories to Songs. In this episode, we feature Andrina Turenne, a wonderful singer and songwriter from here in the Winnipeg region. She interviewed a woman by the name of Sharon Ann Babey, who grew up in Northern Ontario, Southern Ontario, and eventually settled in Winnipeg. She came from a family where the mentality was take any job that presents itself and do everything you can to make a little bit of dough. If you just do one thing, then you're going to miss a whole lot of other opportunities. So, hence the title of the song that Andrina wrote, Don't Be a One-Trick Pony.
Looks like it's working fine. All right. Well, then let's get started. And I will just start by saying, Sharon Ann, that it's been such a wonderful discovery getting to meet you and getting to learn your story. What was intriguing to you about this project? What made you decide to participate?
Well, I probably mentioned it before, but my oldest, because of what she teaches and so forth, she's always looking for seniors and other people to be willing participants for her students that have to do a project. And I can't help her, so I do my best to help anyone that's at the university.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounded intriguing, so I figured, well, I guess I'm old enough now to qualify for ancient, so maybe I do know something from way, way back.
Oh, of course, and I can attest that having gone through this process with you, I feel like this may not be the last song that I write about our conversations.
Well, I thought it was an interesting concept as well.
In the process of this song, of working on this, what was your side of the experience in sharing these stories and working on this project?
Well, I think the first thing was that, number one, it intrigued me, what you were doing. And the other was, I'm probably one of the few in this building that isn't originally from Manitoba or Saskatchewan. At least from the various tables since I've been here that I've sat at, it's predominantly Manitobans. And how do I figure that out? Well, in conversation over our meals and so forth, someone will say, well, you remember where such and such was. Well, no, I didn't get here till 76.
Right.
So if it was prior to 76 and not here when I got here, I don't know.
So you had a different perspective than most.
Yes, and most of the people I sat with, or at least a good percentage of them, the furthest east they'd gone into Ontario was Kenora. And so yes, they knew Thunder Bay by name, but most of them couldn't have told you that it was originally Fort William and Port Arthur.
Right. Yeah, well, I think that you do have a very unique perspective, and I know I'm sure happy that I was paired with you because I've very much enjoyed our conversations. I worked on the song a little bit more yesterday, and there was certain things I wanted to fine tune. I wondered if I would just read you the lyrics instead of singing it to you. Okay, so this is the song. Leonard and Orma were hard-working folks, raised as sisters to be just the same. Near Thunder Bay, they lived through the Depression, working trades to survive in the game. Don't be a one-trick pony. That was the mantra in our family. If you're going to make something in a volatile economy, you can't be a one-trick pony. If there was work to be had, I learned how to do it. That is the way I was taught. Machine operator, big money bank teller, the first using telex at the dealership lot. Worked as a clerk in the criminal division, logged Russian-made rifles, hauled carts full of guns. Once had to deal with a hostage situation. These things never bothered me much. There's no such thing as a man's job, and there's money out there to be made. Get as many usable skills as you can to make sure you will always get paid. I'm glad for the values given to me in a time when it wasn't the trend. A woman determined to take any leap with the skills and smarts to defend. I was never a one-trick pony. I had the drive and the will to succeed. The adventures were wild and plenty. Only few could ever believe. There's no such thing as a man's job. There's just jobs.
Very, very well done.
That was all inspired by your life.
Well, thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much. I am so inspired by these words that I feel they very much belong to you. You know, a lot of these things are things that resonated with me in our conversations and that I wrote down while we were taking notes.
Well, I thought I was normal.
Well, you lived some pretty wild adventures.
Well, if you were to talk to others from Thunder Bay area, general area, not necessarily just in the city, you would find that was more the norm than you would expect. You know, I look at both of my siblings, I look at most of my friends. You turned your hand to whatever was available.
Yeah.
My mother's mother came to Thunder Bay and to work in a bakery, and she ended up as the superintendent of admitting in St. Joseph's Hospital.
Yeah, you just...
You know, you do what you have to.
You go where the work is.
Yeah.
But you're also determined to learn the work, and I think that's so great. You know, that part of the values given to you in a time when it wasn't the trend is like, it could have been, you could have been placed in, you know, the category of what is a woman's job, you know. It seems like a lot of the work you did was you know, you telling yourself, you can do this as good as anyone else, and you're going to do it.
And that was kind of the general attitude down there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I look around the neighborhood and the various neighborhoods I grew up, but even in high school, it wasn't until I was in, say, grade 10 that classification of girls' jobs and boys' jobs started to be included.
Right.
In that area. They were probably more defined in other parts, like southern Ontario, but we were in survival mode in that part of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And so you turned your hand to whatever was available.
Yeah.
And most of the adults that I knew, that was exactly how they were raised too.
So when you hear this song, these words being read to you, what does it make you feel?
It makes me feel very good. In one respect, it makes me surprised that you could weave it together. Because it's all pretty, my life is pretty disjointed. It doesn't have a clear path. But also the fact that it's stressing the fact that there's work to be done. Mm-hmm. All hands pitch in.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's the lack of discrimination and the positive reinforcement of, yes, you can do it if you learn.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter who you are, you can do it if you learn.
Yeah.
And that was the overreaching theme in all of my family, including my dad's extended family. They had a very unique, very forward-thinking way of looking at the world, too.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I'm Andrina Turenne, and this is my Stories to Songs project song. I was paired with the incredible Mrs. Sharon Ann Babey. Sharon Ann grew up in Port Arthur, Fort William, near Thunder Bay, and has incredible stories from that time where she grew up there to moving to Windsor, Ontario with her family and eventually settling in Winnipeg in the 70s. She's worked multiple different types of jobs in her life, and there was nothing, in French we say rien à son épreuve. It's sort of like there's nothing that stood in her way to do anything really. And through conversation, I found out that stemmed from the values that she grew up with. And so this is the song inspired by our many wonderful telephone conversations, and it's called Don't Be a One-Trick Pony. There's no such thing as a man's job. Leonard and Orma were hard-working folks, raised us sisters to be just the same. Near Thunder Bay, they lived through the Depression, working trades to survive in the game. Don't be a one-trick pony. That was the mantra in our family. If you wanna make something of a volatile economy, you can't be a one-trick pony. If there was work to be had, well, I'd learn how to do it. That is the way I was taught. Machine operator, big money bank teller, the first to use telex at the dealership lot. I worked as a clerk in the criminal division, logged Russian-made rifles, hauled carts full of guns. I once had to deal with a hostage situation. These things never bothered me much, 'cause there's no such thing as a man's job. Just money out there to be made. Get as many usable skills as you can, and you'll find you'll always get paid. Well, I'm glad for the values given to me in a time when it wasn't the trend. A woman determined to take any leap with the smarts and the skills to defend. Oh, I never was a one-trick pony. I had the driving will to succeed. The adventures were wild and plenty, only few would ever believe. Well, there's no such thing as a man's job. There's just jobs.
Oh, Andrina, that was wonderful. Thank you so much for that. I enjoyed that waltz. And Sharon Ann Babey, you have an amazing life. And thank you for letting us delve into it a little bit here on Stories to Songs. If you would like to subscribe and hear more of these coming down the line, please do so at the bottom. And until then, I'm Tim Osmond. We'll see you next time on Stories to Songs.